Hi, I'm Shavon Lindley, CEO of Women Evolution, and I'm here today with Dr. Rita Tukral. Did I say it correctly?
Yes.
Absolutely. Former Chief of Staff of St. Jude's Medical Center. And where?
In Kenner, Louisiana.
In Kenner, Louisiana. So I had the privilege. I'm at MGM Resorts in Las Vegas. I just spoke today on the topic of do men and women lead differently, and at the very end, Dr. Rita stood up and told her story of how she owned her career and put herself out there to make herself known for the next job opportunity, how she got Chief of Staff. And what she said, I think you would really benefit from. So I'm excited. This is my first Facebook Live, and I'm excited to introduce you to Dr. Rita Tukral, because I want her to tell you how she got the job of Chief of Staff.
Well, we are here at Women's Leadership Council meeting. It's a 10th annual anniversary of Women's Leadership Council at MGM Grand, Las Vegas, Nevada. And I enjoyed your talk and enjoyed the points and the pointers you gave us. And after listening to so many questions and your speech, how to progress yourself, how to be out there, I felt like I needed to share my story with you and your audience. To me, it's all about having confidence in yourself. And at St. Jude Medical Center, I had been practicing there for about 5-7 years as a nephrologist. I was chief of nephrology, head of the department there. I had chaired other departments there and had a privilege of being involved in some committee meetings and things like that. So one day I said, I'm going to be chief of staff of this hospital. And by then we were, one doctor was chief of staff, and I went to this meeting, which was among all chiefs, and I was chief of nephrology myself. So I attended the meeting, and we were discussing the point, who would be our next chief of staff. So,
who's in this room?
Who is in this room to be next chief of staff?
Are you the only woman in the room?
I was the only woman and 10 men.
Wow.
And they nominated another doctor. Without naming him, he was a gastroenterologist. He was named as one of the nominees to follow present chief of staff. And I said, why can't they nominate me? But I didn't say anything in the big room with room full of men, 10 men. So next day I went to CEO of the hospital and I said, hey, I want to be next chief of staff. I know Dr. So-and-so was nominated for next one. I want to do it after that or something like that. He says, Rita, you know what you're talking about? Because it's a huge job. And I said, yes, I know. He says, do you realize what you are getting into? These are his words. I said, yes, I do realize what I'm getting into and I can handle it. He goes, okay, in next meeting, I'm going to nominate you following this doctor who was nominated today. So I said, fine. So we had a conversation about it, and in the next meeting I was nominated by CEO. Everybody agreed with the nomination, and here I became chief of staff for 2 years term and had a wonderful time. I was handling 400 to 500 doctors as well as their issues and problems and patient complaints and whatever chief of staff is supposed to do, and I had a great time. And everybody was really happy with my work, and I'm still friends with those doctors in that hospital 15 years later, and I really feel privileged I had that opportunity. But the point I wanted to make to your audience is, it's not about women in general, it's we women have to put ourselves out there, risk ourselves, merge with the mainstream, and take our chances.
But the beautiful part, and it's amazing, I mean, everybody was clapping and applauding your story because it's such a real life example of a very simple way that anybody, because you were in this board meeting and I picture it, right? I've been in those meetings, we've all been in those meetings, and it's so intense, and you are the only woman, and you think, in your stomach you're getting warmed up, you're feeling maybe a little nauseous, you're sweating. I mean, I'm sweating now just thinking about it. But you took that moment, you said, look, I can say it right here, or let me do it in a more private way where I don't feel like I have to be boastful. I don't have to do it in front of all this room. And you can go and you can talk to the person privately and say, hey, I want you to know that I want to be nominated for this position. And you know, you may be in your head thought, why didn't anybody nominate me in this room?
Right. I could have played that victim thing. You know, I'm good enough as they are. Why didn't they? I said, no, forget about them. I'm going to talk to this person who is the final word. Let me see what he says.
Oh.
So I did that, and it happened. So it's just like you have dreams, and you need to follow your dreams and take all the steps you need to take and try your best. They do come true at the end.
And so that person that you spoke to, what you said is so right. You're setting your intention. You made it aloud, but you did it in a way that really resonated with who you are as a natural leader. And that meant not necessarily doing it in the big group, but doing it privately and then allowing that person to support you. Now you're not going in the room as the lone woman saying, I want this. Now you have an advocate who is nominating you, and you are next to, you know, you're at the same level. You're not trying to be better or not. You're going in as a team. And then everybody else got buy-in.
Right.
And it's such a simple tool that a lot of people wonder, how do you do it? And that's it. You slowly get buy-in from individuals, and then you can step up to the next level. So now you're doing wonderful work at the Global Charity Foundation. So while we have this last couple minutes, tell me about what you're doing now. I mean, obviously you're not running St. Jude's Hospital right now, but you run this organization here in Las Vegas.
Yes, I started that 9 years ago. 7 years ago, I came here, Vegas, on a job offer from VA Medical Center here as Chief of Nephrology, another leadership role, which I did for over 5 years there. And simultaneously, I was working at Global Charity Foundation, trying to grow the programs here in town. We tutor students at risk, poor children who don't have all the privileges our children have. So we tutor them to get them at a par so that they can enter the high school fully prepared to graduate from high school. So we focus on 3rd grade to 8th grade students in STEM subjects, so that by the time they reach 9th grade, they are at that level, if not better, and don't become dropouts and gangsters on the street. That's my mission and goal, and that's my passion now. Medicine was my first passion, which still stays with me for the rest of my life. And now the active passion is helping poor children.
Wow. And if someone wanted to learn more, how can they find you?
They can go to our website, www.gcfcares.org. Global Charity Foundation is gcfcares.org. And that's, everything is laid out there.
Perfect. I'm Shavon Lindley, CEO of Women Evolution. Check us out. I'm going to be interviewing, I think, a few more people at this conference. Donna Brazil blew the stage up this morning. I am going to be going to a VIP reception at 6:30. So I'm going to head over there now. I'm going to hope to grab a couple of other interviews, so stay tuned. Shavon Lindley, you can always find me here on Facebook or womenevolution.org. Thanks. See you soon.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
For giving me